Hey guys, David Folk here, and today we have another swing coming at you. I found this gentleman on Twitter. He was asking around, seeing if he could get some help from some guys. I thought I'd chip in and give him a couple tips that I think is going to help him and might help you as well. So, let's go putts around. Hit the ball! Boom. So as we get into the swing, he does a lot of things right. There's just one major glaring thing that I think if we help him work on that swing tip and give him a couple of suggestions and drills to help him, it's really going to transform his game and help him prevent some of the thin shots and fat shots that he's been talking about. So as we look at the swing here, we can see his posture's nice. He has a great back, a nice little knee bend right here. So all of that's looking great. As we start pulling back, we can see how far inside he gets. And right here, we can really see how much gap there is between his arm and his shoulder. Ideally, we want to have a gap where you can see your shoulder or close to it. But right here you can see he's a good 4 inches below that. And the struggle that you're going to have when this happens is he gets to the top here and he drops it. You can see that little drop right here as he drops it down. And then he actually does a great job of getting through the shot, even though his elbow right here is still stuck into his side. So he does a great job of clearing his hips, getting around on the ball, and making a square contact with it. And you can see he's doing everything he can with his hands. High hands way up here. You can see the high hands there. He's doing everything he can to try and get that club face through the ball to square it up at impact. As we take a look at the front facing camera, a couple things we want to talk about is going to be his head position right here. So I'm going to put it right underneath the little fluff on the top of his cap. And as we pull it back here, we can see how much head drop there is. And then he tries to maintain that all the way through. He stays there, and you can see at impact, his head is still low. Now this is going to be a key point because you're struggling with tops and thins. And when you pull it back and you keep your head low, and you try to come through, everything is lower and squattier on that shot. So you have to try and manipulate your body to either jerk it up or try and move your hands up to try and make sure you don't hit the ball fat or thin. The thing that we struggle with when you have a low swing, when your swing doesn't get up at a higher angle, is going to be this angle of attack right here. You guys can kind of, the flat ground right here, and here is his club right there. I want to see something more of an angle like that. And that's a little bit exaggerated, but the idea is to get the club a little higher, to come down a little steeper on the ball so you don't have to try and cut through the ball and try and get that little shallow angle to hit the ball perfectly. You have a little bit more wiggle room if you come a little bit steeper at it. And the struggle is going to be because he's so low, he doesn't have a chance to have a little steeper angle coming at the ball. He has to be perfect and more spot on because of his shallow angle coming down at it. So I have a couple of drills that are going to help him. And if you guys are struggling with the same thing, they might help you as well. There are a couple of drills we want to talk about that are going to help him have a little bit steeper angle of attack, helping him hit the ball more consistently, more often. And the first one's going to be his backswing points, where his arm is so low below the shoulder here. We want to have it more up here where you guys can see the shoulder in the picture here when you're videotaping. And that's going to allow him to have a little bit steeper of attack coming down. And so the first drill we're going to talk about when we do that is going to be using a chair. What we're going to do is we're going to take our setup here, and then we're going to pull it back. And you can see if I pull it too far inside, I'm going to hit that chair. So what I want to have is to pull it high enough to get me up to a point where the shoulder is able to be seen. My foot is right here against the edge of the chair. We take our stance here and get the chair nice and lined up with our feet, and then when we pull it back, we can see if I pull it too far inside, I hit it, and if I pull it up here, that's going to allow me to miss it. And it's going to be the same thing on the downswing as well. So if I drop it too far and I come down, you can see I'm going to hit the chair. And what we're going to have is down, coming down through it, and it's going to feel like you're kind of just dropping my right arm or your left arm. So you're here, you're just going to drop it down and through, and that's going to allow you to come through the ball at impact. So the chair idea is going to be a great suggestion for you to try and work on getting that little bit steeper swing to help you have a better angle of attack coming down at the ball to prevent thin shots and chunky shots. Because he's so low here, everything in his body wants to do this motion here. He wants to try and fling the club out as much as possible, trying to get that club face square at impact. As he gets this swing higher, that movement is going to cause him to pull hook more shots than hitting them straight. So what we want to work on with that is going to be having him feel like he's going to drop the club down. Because what he's going to want to do here is as he gets up here, his downswing is going to want to be the same thing, that huge over rotation. And you can see what happens when I do that. My club wants to come this way down through the ground. And so as he comes up here, we want to have him think about dropping this club. So he's here and drop it and then come through. That's the feeling that you want. You want to have it pull up here. You can see the shoulder. You want to drop it and then come through it. So here, drop through. That's actually going to allow you to feel like you're coming down through the ball as opposed to over the top and around the ball. So drill number 2 is because of drill number 1, helping him get a little steeper to prevent the thin and fat shots. All right, guys, drill number 3, what we want to talk about is going to be his head movement. When he swings, he takes his club back and everything dips forward, and that's going to cause him to either hit it chunky or try and move his body up while keeping his head down. That's also going to cause thin shots as well. So what we want to try and work on is trying to keep the head as still as possible when it comes to swinging. And what I like to do is just use this wall right here. I like to take my club right here and I can put the butt end where I'm going to turn and face the ground here. And because I don't want to hit the wall, I'm going to put the butt end really as close as possible to my shoulder right here. And then I'm going to take my stance and basically I'm just going to lean and hit my head on the wall right here. And as I turn, that's going to have me keep my head still and keep my head at the same height. And from there, it allows us to keep our eyes on the ball, which is a great thing as always as we're swinging the golf club. And then we can come through and our head doesn't move. So we take our stance, swing, swing, and you can see that's going to keep our head level of the entire swing. And that's what we really want to look at as you lean forward and kind of keep your weight there. That's going to make sure you're going to keep your head on the same plane throughout the swing so it's not going to dip. Now, that's going to be a little more difficult to transfer that on the course because you don't have a wall out there on the course to use. So this is something that you want to do in your house, maybe 20 swings if you want to. So I would count this as a swing. So you're here and I go 1, 2, and really just kind of get that feeling down to know when you take your club, you keep your head level. And that's going to prevent yourself from hitting thinned and fat shots. So I hope that helps him out as he's looking at trying to make improvements in his swing. Put those comments down below. I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, go ahead and put those down as well. I try to get to everybody's comments and questions. If you have a drill that you guys use to help you with something that he's struggling with, go ahead and put those down below as well. All the input I think we can do to help him improve and to help you guys improve is worth it. While you're down there, guys, go ahead. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up because YouTube likes that. Thanks for watching, and we'll chat with you next time.